Hi everyone. I just wanted to stop by for a quick minute to let you know that all's well in the world today, as far as I know. I don't watch the news, so as far as that, my world is right here in this house. Yeah, it's all good. And but I want to let you know that everything's good. I haven't been made a video in a couple of days. I have to admit that I'm feeling a little crummy, but I have an appointment in the morning to go get blood work done. I'm asked the doctor if he'll just please look at my legs. These legs is driving me nuts. But anyhow, um, I've been sitting. Well, I between sitting here and in my lazy chair with my legs propped up. I swear, I think each one of my legs weighs 100 pounds. They are so fat. They're so hard as a rock and full of water. I don't know why I've gained all this water weight in a month's time. And so I got an appointment next week, but tomorrow I go for blood work, and I'm going to ask the doctor if I'll ask the nurse that does the blood work if the doctor would just have time to squeeze me in and look at these legs and see if he can tell me why they're doing what they're doing. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. And so, but I just want to show you what I've been doing. I got a couple things just to kind of show you. And so down here, this, well, not this. This is my mess. Oh, don't worry about that. This is a sweater that I'm making. And I told you all already that I have started this sweater. And what it is, it's a hexagon. See here, I got to pull that tight and get that yarn in there so there's no hole in the middle. But what it is, you make a granny hexagon. So it's like a granny square, but instead of 4 sides, it's got 6 sides. And it is so simple. I can't make sweaters. I've never made a sweater. This will be my first one in the whole world. But see, because it's got 6 sides, what'll happen is how will I do this? It gets folded in half. Once this hexagon is finished, then it gets folded in half. And you can look at this and see this is a sleeve and this is the body. I will make 2 of these. Well, I've got one of them further than this is my second half. My first half is right here. Let's see. As you can see, this is a whole skein of yarn right here. And then these 3 rows right here is almost another whole skein of a different kind of yarn, but it's what I'm using what I have. And so, but it's that hexagon, and then when it's folded, let's see, folded, when it's folded in half, this is it. This is the 1/2 folded in half. So this up here, this will get stitched down the seam, and this goes across the shoulder and down the arm, the sleeve. And then this is the armpit, and then this goes down the front. And so what I will do after I get both of these pieces done, because see, now this is the second one going, and once I get both of them done, then I'm going to add some more, like a couple rows just up the back, like a couple more rows up the back. I'm a big lady, so I need a big sweater. This pattern goes for any size of a sweater, from a little baby sweater all the way up to a elephant sweater it will make. And so I'll add a little bit to both sides of this, and then I'll stitch the whole back together. And I may have to stitch a little bit more, maybe another row to the top across too. But what'll happen then is, well, and then you can then design it too. So I'll probably design it where I might just put this much together here and then leave this down like almost like a lapel. I might do that. And I'm not exactly sure because I've never done one of these before. And then I love how it's going to have the big old sleeves like this. So, and I don't want it to be like a long sleeve. I want it to be like, I don't like long sleeves because then you can't even go rinse out a cup in the sink without your sleeves being. So I like 3/4 length sleeve, and I love this bigness of this sleeve. I love that it's big like that. So I probably will not put any more here on this on the top part. I'll probably just stitch this together here and then add some to the back to make it, and I might add to the bottom too to make it a little bit longer. So I might just add to the bottom and not to, oh, I'll wait till the bottom and the back, and then stitch the two halves together, and that's just all it's going to be. And I just am so excited that I found this pattern because it is going to be so awesome. But as you can look at this, as far as this piece is right here already, it's like this would already be a size for a child's sweater. Like this would fit my granddaughter. That size if I stopped it right there. So I mean, and then you could make a bit. It's just you just start it and then stop it in wherever it's. Of course, mine has to be a little bit bigger because I love. So this here yarn is Lion Brand Comfy Cotton Blend. And once I ran out, once I used up all of this, because this is a whole cake right here, almost a whole cake. There was a little bit more, but not enough to go around again. So, but this is a light yarn. They call this a 3-weight. And then I didn't even, okay, and then and then the other yarn, this second piece I used was also Lion Brand, and it's also a 3-weight. And 100% acrylic is this second one, and this one is 50% cotton and 50% polyester. So that the first one I used, and then this is all acrylic. If I'd had more of this cotton and polyester, I would have used this on the rest. And then I looked online to see if maybe I wanted to order some more. And then one place, Amazon had it for like, it was like $8 a cake. And I would have needed 2 at least. And then I looked at another yarn shop, and it was less than that. It was $5 something a cake. But then the shipping was huge. And so I said, well, I'm just not going to do that. I'm just going to find, so I had 2 cakes of this other yarn, the mandala polyester. And so I said, well, I'll just do that. And even though it's a different kind of yarn, it's the same weight and it works just fine. And so that's why that's the 2 yarns I'm using. And I should have, off of the one, let's see, yeah, I still have pretty much off of the, this is after I went around 3 times, and this was a full thing, and I still have that much. And so, and I'll have that much off of this one too. So I might have enough to go around the whole thing at least once. I mean, around the bottom and the sides. I may do that. So I'm not sure, but it's such a simple pattern. And I will put a link to where I learned the pattern, because you start right here. And I mean, you first make a circle. You make the magic circle and you put 12 double crochets in there. And then the next row you put 2 double crochets between every 1 double crochet. You put 2 and chain 1, 2 and chain 1, 2 and chain, all through there. And then on the third row you put 3 double crochets and chain 1, 3 double crochets, and that's in between every 2. And then after you're done that part, that's when you start putting the corners on, just like you would do a corner. So every 3 group of 2 double crochets, every 3 you put, so you, oh well, you'd have to read the thing, but you then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 12 sets of 3 double crochets. So you're going to have 3, 2 on each side. Yeah, you have 2 on each side because you're making the corners, and then 1 in the middle that you're going to put in. And well, then anyway, I'll put the link to this below. I might show actually how I started one day too. I wanted to show you that. And then I wanted to show you a book that I got. Now, is this going to show correctly? Let me see. I don't think so. No, it's showing backwards, isn't it? Where's my, let's see, I have a, oh, here's my thing, my jig. This is a book I bought. There, now I think, and let me zoom. Yeah, then maybe you can see that. No, because that's reading backwards, isn't it? Yeah, that's reading backwards. I gotta flip it again. Oh, now it's right. Improv Handbook for Modern Quilters. I saw this book and I thought, improv. Oh my goodness, is that what I'm doing? Because my type of quilting, I just feel like I'm just doing something crazy. And I just crazy and wild quilting is what I've been calling it. Because that's really what it is. It's just crazy and wild. And so I ordered this book. I seen it by Lynn, and then I've watched a couple of her videos too. She's got some videos where she shows her improv quilting, which is, you don't hardly have to think about it. When you're doing improv quilting, I cannot say that word. It's improvising, what's that big word? I can never come up with that word. Improvisational. That's probably not right. But she talks a lot about the quilts that she makes. I love that picture. I just love this picture. I would love to just frame that and hang it on the wall. All it is a bunch of needles and a few of them are threaded. That would be pretty. But this here, and like it says, top 5 reasons to go ruler free. There was another book too, and like when you're on, when you're looking on Amazon, and when you look at books, it'll show you a little arrow and says look inside. Well, there was another book that I seen was interesting too, and I said, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, which one should I order? Because I wanted to order one of them because I just want to read what other people think. And the other one, it did say in there, it said, improv quilting is not sloppy. Improv is thoughtful and considered spontaneity. Stay relaxed, stay connected, stay alert, let your creativity direct your process. Don't plan, don't overthink, trust yourself and trust the process. I copied that out of that other book. And that is so true. It is just like, look here, there's a picture of all different kind of fabrics. And a lot of what she did in the videos that I've watched so far is stripes or strips. And she just takes a rotary cutter and cuts strips. And then she sews them strips together, and then she cuts them apart. Strip, turn it, and strip. She's got all these strips. And that's where she comes up with these things like these little pieces like this. I love it. I love it. And nothing is measured. Nothing. Nothing's measured. No, nothing's measured. She doesn't cut straight lines. Look at that stack of beauty right there in them quilts. And here it says Quilt Scores. She uses like a score, like a score, like a musical score, like it's in a way planned out. Kind of, you're going to decide, are you going to do strips, or are you going to triangles, or squares, or what are you going to do? So setting limits. So there is a improv is setting limits to expand horizons. Floating squares. So she calls this one floating squares. And it's really kind of neat. And the thing is that you just really do not have to have a plan. And look at what you get when you're done. You don't have a plan. It just keeps building and building and building as you use the improv quilting method that you just, and even, was it in here in this book? I think it, that she had, she called it spirit sewing. And I thought, well, my goodness, I thought I invented that word. Not really, it was the chat that I thought invented the word. But what we call spirit stitching, where you just follow your spirit and you just start stitching together. This one here is a little bit more, um, she's only got a few different kind of fabrics in this one, and so in this one too, but look how beautiful it is. But you see that there's no pattern at all. And so look at this is all together. I love this. I think this is beautiful. If you were to see this at a quilt show and you go, we've got up at our town hall, or what is it called up there? It's not the courthouse, but it's another, like a government center. That's where a lot of quilts are displayed up at this place. And I can do, well, I can't walk anymore, but I walk through there and just, oh, I just drool as I look at all the quilts that are on display in this place. And they keep changing, because the new ladies will, from the Quilting Guild, will hang theirs for display for a while. And so I guess they sell them right off the wall. I don't know, but never have I seen anything like this. They're always like a double wedding ring, or the log cabin, or the whatever. They're always a perfect pattern, and the seams are perfect, and the cuts are perfect, and stitches are perfect, and everything is perfect. They're beautiful, but really when you look at them, it doesn't take long to see the whole thing. If you were to see a quilt like this hanging on the wall, it would take forever to look at that whole quilt. I mean, to look at, here, look at, she's got a black stripe here, and then she's got some stripe there, and a little bit here, and a little bit over there. It's, and they're just small strips everywhere, just small strips of fabric put together. Like this piece here doesn't even look like it belongs on there. It looks like it's 3D or something. But nope, it's part of the quilt. This is the quilt here. And it is just beautiful. And so, and even none of the seams are straight. There, some is on a diagonal. Some almost look straight. They're not, though. They're not. They're somewhere on a diagonal. And improv is doing it my way. String. So I guess she called that one a string. And look at her there. And she's such a sweet lady, too, if you listen to her. She's just so interesting to listen to her talk. I think because there's no perfection. There's nothing has to be perfect. Everything is just fine. And like here she's showing pieces, just that might be the one that was up there, and that she has just kind of got her pieces laid out, sort of. And she's trying to figure out here, how is she going to do it? Even I don't put that much thought. To me, that's too much thinking right there, too. I wouldn't kind of look at it that closely. And look at that. These are just beautiful. These are beautiful. See that? Oh my goodness. Now see, I don't do quilting like this. This is the piecing, yes. I'm not so much into the quilting. I piecing a quilt I like to do, but actually quilting it is just not my ball of wax. Not my cup of tea, but this has got some beautiful quilting in it. If you had one of them quilting machines, you know, yeah, I'd get me one of them. But where would I put it? I have to put it in the middle of the kitchen. And so, but oh, beautiful. And I'm not so much into, and what I'm doing anyway is, you don't need to quilt what I do. But see here, she talks about, in one of the videos I watched, she talks about, they went to a retreat somewhere. There was a bunch of quilters or quilter wannabes or whatever that went to some kind of a treat. I wonder if this was that retreat. I haven't read this whole book yet. I've read a lot, but not the whole thing. But everything that they made, every bit of every quilt that they made was made from stuff that they got out of the waste bin, out of the landfill, even up to the sewing machines. They found old broken sewing machines and they got them suckers working, and that's what they used. And so they didn't have no fancy Berninas or nothing. They just had sewing machines that would sew a straight stitch. They were happy. And every bit of the fabrics that they used come from old clothing that they found in the dump. And in the dump, I'm not kidding, and so there's a video that this lady, what's her name? Sherry Lynn, Sherry, Sherry Lynn Wood. And amazing, she is amazing. She also has one, like, she's got a website too that you have to pay to go to. Well, I'm not going to, there's enough in this book and enough on the stuff that I can see for free that I don't need to pay to go see. I see enough here. I have enough inspiration. Even if I never even read the words, looking at these pictures is just totally amazing. And look at this one here. You've got round aspects to it. And here's some that are almost like triangular. And then there's squares. And then there's strips. But they're there, no rhyme nor reason. They're just there. Improv is letting go of expectation, patchwork doodle. And oh my word, I haven't even went through this whole book because I just got it yesterday. And so I ordered it the day before they said it was going to be delivered. The next day, I was just like, I slept in the mailbox. I didn't really, that's a lie. But I wanted it right then. But even look at this. See, it's just, there's so much on there. But I want to show you too a little bit. Look at this. Look at this. And this is absolutely, see how the curves are there? She shows how she does those curves. And although she puts a seam, she puts a 1/4-inch seam in between everything and puts it together. Now my quilts, I'm not doing no seam. Let me see if I can find a piece of something I can show you. Where did I put everything here? Okay, I'm gonna just see. I got a couple things here. I am forever. Okay, this one's too perfect. This one here is too perfect, but I started making I've just made a few lap quilts in the last few days, but I make them like this piece was sent to me already. Well, there was already pieces put together, and I just stitched some more together. And it's got threads all over. Then I made another piece on the other side, so it's got quilt on both sides. I decided, and then this was, see, these are about a 5-inch square, and then over here these are 4-inch squares. So, well, this is just some that I had started. They fit, and so I put them together, and I just put on the front and the back, and so both sides is a quilt. It's a 2-sided quilt. But now that one is a tame one. That one's tame. Because then I have like this. Whoops, there went that crashing in the floor. Now this is a piece that I made some while ago where I did some scrunch-a-bunch sewing, and this was kind of supposed to be like a tree. This is the tree, this is the sky around the tree, and this is the tree trunk, and this is the ground. That's sort of like what I did on that piece. So I've had just this piece laying around after I did that. But then I had this. Well, this was a few pieces I get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, these were 6 different squares that I had put together at different times. And again, but now these ones don't have any seams in them. No 1/4-inch seams or anything. These ones are all felled over. They're just raw edges, and well, there might be some of them I've made a while ago. This is all raw edges on here. This looks like I might have, no, they're all raw edges. But then I go along the raw edge with like a zigzag stitch right along the raw edge. And so, like I say, you can't hardly even tell that they're all raw edges. But, well, here you can sort of tell that they're just, but I just put them wherever they put a piece, wherever it's going to fit. But then on the other side is also just a bunch of pieces. I want to put more on this side because I want this one to be more lively than it is. This is a piece of that quilt top that I just got, and I took that apart. I'll probably put something else on there too, but I want them just to be a real arty. I mean, this is improv taken to the outer limits. And then let's see, what's this one? This one here too. And it might be that I might take, like that one I just showed you, I might take that one and this one and sew them together. I don't know. But here on the inside is, I just take my pieces of scraps, and it doesn't matter how they fit or if they fit. And like these 2 strips are stitched together. They're actually stitched together with a 1/4-inch seam on there, but that's just how I poked them out of the rag bag, and I put them on there. And then I just lay a piece on. I just plop it on there and sew. And so then this piece was just a scrap, but look, I've got it all stitched on there with a zigzag stitch. It's just all on there, and that's where it's going to live forever. And here my sewing machine was acting up. I had to rethread it, but I heard this noise going on, and so then on the underneath it showed that that thread was just getting all tangled up. I just left that there. I said, well, that meant what was meant to be there then. And see how it's just the pieces are. Oh, this was a piece that what I did was it was longer, but I just folded it in half. I folded it in half and then just started, because here I got this when I put this, use this like one of the stitches that's on the sewing machine, and I just stitched rows. You can't hardly see it, but it's just rows and rows and rows. I think I did the whole thing. Yeah, I went down that whole piece like that. And so, and then like when I got it done, it wasn't completely, I still needed a piece somewhere. Oh, right here, I needed something here. So I found this little piece and I just stuck that in there. And again, all the pieces are different, but it's both sides. So to have a lap quilt, and I thought, even I might get carried away and make a jillion lap quilts because I've got a jillion yards of fabric. And I thought, I don't know if I were to donate these to a rest home somewhere. If I were to donate them to a rest home, I don't know if the higher ups would just say, oh, those are just junky and throw them away, or if they'd actually let the residents pick and choose and have one. But I'm thinking if this is, and I've worked with people in the rest homes, and a lot of them, their vision is going, a lot of them, but they don't usually lose their sense of touch. And if this was on somebody's lap, you can feel these stitches. you can run your hand on there and you can feel these stitches all over, all the separate pieces. And it just feels good. And even if they can not see much but see a little, they're still going to just see all the different shapes and the colors and stuff. And like having these ladies in here, I might just get another piece of that fabric. I might get another with them ladies because I think they're so beautiful, and maybe put a piece right here and just stitch it on. And I'm stitching, these are just getting stitched on with sewing machine, and I could hand stitch if I feel like it. But see, like here, maybe I could take another piece with the ladies and put them here or something, just to give that more fun, more fun. And let's see, this one here. Oh, here, now this piece, see, I've got a lot of them are just pieces. This one's only this big right now, but this one may get put on, added to another piece. Again, it's double-sided. It's a double-sided quilt. It's quilted on both sides. And the different fabrics and the different pretty pieces of fabric. It's got a couple chickens there. It's got some threads there. But these were some of the little things I had put together because I was making the towel boas, and so I had some of them. I said, oh, I'm gonna put them on there. And so part of this is like all that pretty, and then here and there I added that piece of rickrack along here, just, and so I cut this on a curve too. I had this one piece was pretty big and I cut it on a curve, so I still got another piece of that I can put somewhere else. But then I just, instead of seaming it, I just laid it over, and then I stitched it with a zigzag stitch along, and it works just fine. And then I added some, I just love rickrack. If I had a jillion yards of rickrack, I'd use it all. But you can take a piece, see, and I used off of this piece, I could take and run a piece of rickrack just right down this piece like this, or maybe just even round it like this, round it on there, and just leave that on there like that, and look how pretty that would be. So when my ship comes in, I'll order a jillion yards of rickrack. But see, that is, and then this was already a piece that was put together because can't remember her name now, sent me a whole box full of quilt squares that she had already. I don't know if she had made them herself or if somebody gave them to her, but she sent them to me, and there was probably 50 Christmas squares. Well, I didn't know if I wanted to just continue and make a whole big Christmas quilt. Then I thought, no, I'm going to use that. So I've already used quite a few of the squares. Like right there is one of the squares. And in one place I cut one on a diagonal. Did I put that here? No, it's not on this one. But I have it somewhere. But this is just what I did. And then this one here. Okay, this one's all squares too. Okay, this one's just all squares. This one is here is pretty this one here is, you know what I think I'm going to do with this one? I've got to come up with something. I realize that I now have got over, oh, I got a hole in it right here. I got to fix that hole. I have, oh, yeah, once I washed it, a lot of times after I wash something like this, I find that where'd that hole go? Well, I got to find that hole and fix it. There's a hole in here. Oh, there it is. I have to fix the hole. But I just realized I got over 8,000 subscribers. 8,000. You know how many that is? Could you imagine if that was dollars? That'd be a lot of dollars. But just to make a drink. I want to come up with something that I can to celebrate and thank. Well, I can only thank one person with this, but oh, this one I put the rickrack again all the way around. So this one here, this side of the quilt looks like a old-fashioned, just square block quilt. But I went all the way around the edge of it with a rickrack, and then I just ragged the edges. But see, the whole inside is the rag quilt. But instead, I of putting a backing on it, it's just the whole thing is another quilt. So you got a two-sided quilt. But I want to come up with some kind of a contest or something to where I can give a prize out to a winner. And so I think this would make a nice prize. I would want it if somebody was to send it to me. I would love it because you can just lay it over the back of a chair or put it in your car. And sometimes you might just need a little blanket over your knees in the car or something. And I just thought of that because there's a car right there. And there's music notes right there, so you might want to put it over your lap while you're listening to music. Or maybe just before dinner, see, here's carrots, and then, or maybe while you're having your cup of coffee in the morning, there you go, and looking out the window at your flowers, and look at them. But anyway, I think that's pretty. It's not that big. It's just a lap quilt. But I'm going to be thinking of something, some way that, I can fairly pick a winner. And that's going to be what that's going to be for right there. I think that's going to be for. So let's see. See that I just have some squares, and these things I've played with in the past, you know, and I need to do something with them. Oh, this one here. Oh, see, like I got stuff like this. I started putting stuff together. Then I stop. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to find places for everything to live. Oh, and then, okay, these are just some more squares, aren't they? Just some squares that I've started. See, I've got so many of these things that I've just started. Oh, there's 4 squares put together. And that's the back of them. Just squares. Just raggedy, scrappity, raggedy and scrappity. This one here is my little house and the little ladies, and it says hope there. I got just so many of these kind of little squares, and I'm just going to continue putting them together. Oh, and then another thing I've been collecting, and these are different size squares even. That doesn't matter. Then another thing, oh, see, there's another piece, double-sided. Let's put that over there. I've been collecting for a while, just because I thought they're cool, is panels. I've been collecting panels, and I bought a few off of somebody's auction, and so what I'm doing now with the panels is I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to sew them all together. And they're made for like making a pillow or something. But I am going to use them to make a blanket of sorts. But so then this is going to be the basic blankets. I got a few sewn together. But I'm going to do more to it. I'm going to do this because I don't have this doubled over yet. It's just only about 8, 6, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's got 8 squares there so far on it. And I stitched them together. And I figured it's got to sit for a minute while it's thinking, because it is thinking of what it wants to be. Now see this one here, this panel, you're supposed to take and cut the 2 pieces out and put them together to make a pillow. But I don't want to do that. I want these 2 to be just like they are, and little pretty little cows are looking at each other. And toys from the attic collection, Buttercup. That's Buttercup. They're twins, and so they're going to go on a blanket just like this. But there's going to be more added. I'm just going to put more on top of this. So this is still going to be that, what did we call that word? Improv. Improv quilting. So improv is you're just going to improvise. What does it say you're supposed to do? It says you're supposed to cut all the patterned pieces along the outer edge with right sides together, stitch seam around the edge, leaving the bottom section open for stuffing. Turn right side and insert stuffing and stitch opening to finish. This girl doesn't follow directions. That's not very many directions. But you think I want to follow them directions? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to follow directions. I want to just, I guess I'm just kind of, I don't know, snarky? Is that it? Am I snarky maybe? I just everywhere you look in my house here, but I'm in this room anyway. See, that's a piece I had cut off of something and put it on that one of them, and then here I cut that rounded and I cut that piece, but then I still have this piece here. That'll go on another one. Oh, I cut that too. That'll go on another. They'll all go. I don't throw nothing away. It doesn't matter what brand or what size or what picture or what improv is figuring it out. And so, oh, and this too shows the very first quilt that I made ever so many years ago was just a patchwork quilt, just all like 4-inch squares or whatever. The only way I quilted it was with tacking. I just tacked it with pieces of yarn. I didn't needle and thread quilt it. It just was tacked. And so that is still just the perfect. It's just, anything. As it says here, Mother told me, I ain't no harm in making. Oh, it ain't no harm in making, no mistake. You might want to fix it a little bit different than I made mine, and I'll fix it like I want to satisfy me. That was written by Fannie Moore, Accidentally on Purpose, by Eli Leon. I wonder if that's a book. I've seen that, Accidentally on Purpose. That might be a book too. I don't know. I'll have to look. But oh, this book is just absolutely beautiful. This is just to look at these. Look at these quilts. I mean, just eye candy throughout the whole thing. Just eye candy. And so, and like I say, you don't have to, you really do not have to sew the seams, like 1/4-inch seam or whatever. I mean, if you just overlap them, just plop them down, overlap them, and then stitch them. And there's so many stitches now. If you use a, look at that, how pretty. Improv is experimenting and getting lost. So this part tells about layered curves, and there's a lot of curves in here. But that would be fun to do, is just make a whole bunch of blocks, make them the same size, but not necessarily the same patterns, but just make it all with the curves. And see, on them blocks, if you took 4 blocks of the same size and laid them here on the cutting thing, 4 blocks the same size, and then take your rotary cutter and cut them 4 blocks into quarters on the curve, all 4 of them blocks, 4 different colors. Then you can put them together just like this. I want to do that. I didn't read that, but I know how that's. I can look at that and see that's how they done that. And that would be so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. So that's a little bit of, I mean, if you're going to use like 10-inch blocks, well, then you have to cut your blocks at 10 inches. But oh my gosh, I like that. So there's so much. Oh, and this one here, she's showing on the curve. Oh, see here, she made the put the blocks together first and then cut the blocks into the curves. Get out, they're beautiful. Okay, I got to read a little bit more into that one to know exactly. Now here, this one's getting a little bit too fancy. It's a little bit too much fanciness right there for me. Oh, but this, now that's where she showed a picture here at the beginning, I think. Or was it that I saw that on, maybe I saw that one on one of her videos that I thought was so flippin'. Oh, see there, she did that one. Looks like the clouds in the rain. But then there was another one too that was, this is so, oh there, see in the background here where she's sitting here. Looks like she's meditating, but look at that quilt hanging on the wall. It looks like this one here. Almost looks like a butterfly. But that can't be hard either. I mean, look at this. That's just gorgeous. And this is what I love. Look at that. Looks like a lotus flower. That's so pretty. Improv is commitment on the edge of the unknown. No telling what you can come up with. Jiminy Christmas. Now this does look like this is probably all very confusing and very something, but I bet when you start it, get it started, I have to read too, and then I bet it wouldn't be that much problem at all. Look at this one. See how gorgeous that is? I wish I had enough walls where I could just cover all my walls with quilts. Well, I could take all them pictures. We don't need family pictures up on the walls. We'll take them off. Look at that one. Looks scientific. Exploring color. A lot of these she did with just solid colors. A lot of solid colors. I don't even have a lot of solid colors. I got some, but not a lot. But adding some of the solid colors along with prints, still just gorgeous. Patchwork techniques, look at that. But anyway, this ruler-free patchwork, and she doesn't use a ruler. She doesn't use a ruler for nothing. She just rotary cuts without a ruler. Cutting from your core. Just cut a bunch. Oh my gosh, girlfriend. This is beautiful. And you know, once I saw this book, it was like this lady, the author of this book, gave me permission or gave me the go-ahead to continue doing what I love doing. Because I'm thinking, gosh, you know, I've been thinking what I was doing was just kind of quilters would just have a laugh attack or something. And then I seen this book, because I've never heard of improv quilting. But now that I've looked, I put improv quilting in the search now on Google, on YouTube, and there is videos on improv quilting, which some of them are a little bit too fancy for me. But there's some that really just, do it, that make it look just like anything is good. Look at that stack of quilts right there. Look at that stack of color. Just a whole page of pins. That's art, you know? Okay, see, now I've taken up all of your time here. But I wanted to show you my book. I wanted to show you my sweater. Oh, see, here's one where they're doing the this fold over binding. It's all tied. Yep, that's how I did it. That's how I did it all them years ago. Was just run the pieces of yarn all the way through, and then cut them and tie them in the middle. And that's a way that you can um, quilt without having to do all the quilting using the needle and thread. And I mean, you get it done so quickly that way. So pretty, so pretty. But anyway, look at that, just all the threads. But that's just what I just wanted to kind of, oh god, look at the covers even. Just love it. Improv Handbook for Modern Quilters. And so a guide to creating, quilting, and living courageously. And that is, you use your courage and um, come up with something and anything. And there's no wrong. Nothing is wrong when you start doing that type of quilting. Nothing is wrong. Once you got two pieces together, it's perfect. It's just perfect. So like, look here, I can pick up this here piece. It's got some chickens on it. And then I can just get this here piece that's a whole bunch of just something. It's a whole bunch of something. And I can just put them chickens right there on the edge of that and stitch all the way down that edge. And them chickens would be very happy being right here. Okay, but anyway, I'm going to read to you from You Are Stronger Than You Know, because I like to read to y'all guys. I like to read to y'all guys. And I love this book, You Are Stronger Than You Know, words of hope and encouragement for someone living a chronic illness. And I'll just open it up to this page. I must have read it before because I put a unicorn right there. Believe in the best possible outcome. To attract healthy results, use your attitude of persistence and determination. Every positive thought will signal to your immune system that you are on your own side. Hopeful and faithful statements to yourself will boost your desire and potential to believe in the best outcome you can imagine. If doubts start to gang up on you, stand up to them. Divert your attention and focus on the most empowering conclusion possible. See yourself with restored energy and pain-free days. And that was written by Donna Fargo. And so she's wrote a lot in here. I used to listen, I remember her. I can't tell you any of her songs right now, but she sings. To attract healthy results, use your attitude of persistence and determination. Okay, that's what we do with our quilting or our crocheting or whatever we're doing. And I don't know if I'm doing my crocheted sweater just all alike perfectly right, but I'm doing it and it's going to turn out just perfect. Okay, I ask God to watch over each and every one of you. Every move you make, every step you take, keep you safe and secure and happy and healthy and humble. And I will see you on the next video. God bless.